Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and charges against Ripple have been dropped. Not everything. There's still some stuff going on here which I will break down for you in this particular video, but a couple charges indeed against Ripple have been dropped. Here's the headline from the Daily Hodl. 2 fraud allegations against Ripple dropped as XRP lawsuit moves forward. Hey, you know what? Baby steps. Baby steps. We're going to take what we can get because the people that brought this against Ripple, they're a bunch of baby back bitches. I mean, I'm talking they're a bunch of unsophisticated, mouth-breathing troglodytes living in their mother's basement eating ham and cheese Hot Pockets. Like, that's how they are rolling up in here. But it's cool. This is a little bit of progress here. So we're going to go through this, and I know this isn't much of the real news, so I'm going to get into some serious content after this piece, which will be this article from Decrypt.co titled, "This is how many Big Macs a single Bitcoin will buy you." So don't worry, we will get to this serious content towards the later part of the video, but the real question I know you're all wondering about is, how many ham and cheese Hot Pockets can Bitcoin buy? One single Bitcoin. So many questions. Will we have the answers? Well, Moon Lambo's got something for you. But before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you would please ever so delicately tap that like button, I would definitely appreciate the support, because if you are willing to do that, you're just telling the YouTube algorithm, hey, I don't completely hate this particular Moon Lambo content. Maybe I hate it a little bit. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But, hit the like nonetheless, and then the YouTube algorithm will push this content out onto more individuals, which I would appreciate. It's fun growing this channel and engaging with my fellow XRP community members. Also, consider subscribing if you have not yet done so, because why the hell not? Don't cost nothing, son. Take my free content, damn it. All right, shout out to the Rock XRP who tagged me in this link, this tweet linking to an article along with a number of others in the XRP community. Thank you, the Rock XRP. I do appreciate that very, very much. And let's dive in. The U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California has ruled to dismiss 2 fraud allegations against Ripple, but gives the green light to proceed on the suit regarding Ripple's violations of the California Corporations Code. So even that, though, it's still just going to be a matter of time. I can't imagine there are going to be any serious repercussions of this. It's really basically just a huge waste of time, I suspect. We'll see how this all goes, but so far it's looking like it's by and large been going in Ripple's favor, which shouldn't be that surprising to anybody that's been following this story. But anyway, the 3 fraud allegations are part of a class action lawsuit against Ripple that were initially filed by investor Vladi Yakinov in November 2018. Now, in a court record dated October 2nd, 2020, and signed by Judge Phyllis J. Hamilton, the court has decided to dismiss the charges against the San Francisco startup for violation of sections 17500 and 17200 of the California Business and Professions Code, which I'm sure you and I are well versed with those particular codes, right? So I don't need to break down what those are. But according to court documents, the plaintiff argued that Garlinghouse made statements that conflated the adoption of enterprise solutions with the adoption of XRP, even if Ripple's enterprise clients were not adopting the 4th largest cryptocurrency, which is a completely bogus claim, but here's a quote. In the tweet, Ripple stated that XRP, up 4,000% this year, has shown the market favors a real use case for digital assets. And then writes, in the interview clip, Garlinghouse stated that digital assets are in a position to be more valuable than gold, and described XRP as solving a real-world use case. It's not just about speculators. Well, see, to me that all seems rather reasonable. It's, the only thing that I'd take issue with whatsoever is, so the massive run-up in XRP, and they state here that it shows that markets favor real use case, and because I just keep it real, and not that they were trying to hype, like I'm not making that claim against Garlinghouse or Ripple or anything of the sort. I just have a different opinion, that's all it is. But I think that XRP, along with every other altcoin on the planet, broadly speaking, is following Bitcoin, not down to the second, the minute, the hour, the day, the week, the month, whatever, but it ultimately does. And I think that's what you saw. I think that there are so many people in the space, probably I'd be willing to speculate it's likely the majority, are not sufficiently parsing out the differences between coins. So as far as XRP going up 4,000% that year, awesome, it sure did. And there are people like me, and if you're listening to this, probably you too, that do care about those fundamentals, and that's why we're here for the long haul. But I don't think that's the primary reason that you saw that. I think it was just the crypto asset in general, and people in general just making a bet on the entire asset class, more or less. That's I could delve and flesh out that opinion further. I'll leave it there for the sake of this video. But to me, it seems pretty clear that is indeed the case, because obviously Bitcoin bubble popped. XRP shortly after that hit its all-time high, and then it just ended up following the downward action of Bitcoin. It just seems really clear to me, and so I'm still obviously Mr. XRP bull for a reason. I think that's going to be worth substantially more than it is today. And to be clear, I don't have a financial background. I'm not offering financial advice. I don't buy or sell because of anything I say or write, and just shared my everyday Joe Schmo opinion here. But as far as Garlinghouse stating that digital assets are in a position to be more valuable than gold, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think it's perfectly reasonable to speculate that may happen. You're talking about gold at, I don't know what it is today, $9-10 trillion, depending on what the price is. It's been moving around a bit, so I don't know for sure. I don't check it on a daily basis. But it would be up there, around there somewhere, right? I don't think it's wacky to think that there will be some cryptocurrencies that will have multi-trillion-dollar valuations. That wouldn't, I don't know how long it will take to get there, but it would be weird to me if that didn't happen. You're talking about the entire freaking asset class worth a little over $300 billion with a B as I record this, and then gold, just gold alone is worth whatever it is. Fact check me on it, I don't care. It's around 9 or 10 trillion, I'm sure. So not even close. This is a baby asset class, but it's not going away because utility does matter, and it's going to increasingly matter as time passes. And my investment thesis ultimately is that utility matters and will win the day. And of course, they're right here when they state that XRP is solving a real-world use case, and so it's not just about speculators in the long term anyway. I would believe that in the long term. And even in the short term, I think there is truth to what that statement, again, because I'm here for that reason. And, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I think that most of the people in the XRP community have a similar mindset. That's what I've gotten from being in the community and seeing everybody on Twitter and so on and so forth, social media for almost 3 years. That's definitely the impression that I have. But the court granted the motion to drop the charge, saying the plaintiff's claim is unfounded. How about that? I'm going to read that again. The court granted the motion to drop the charge, saying the plaintiff's claim is unfounded. Well, damn straight. And I love that justice is, seeing the light of day in that sense. It's good. It was clearly bogus claims. It could not be more obvious. A separate claim alleged that Garlinghouse made statements that falsely associated the adoption of enterprise solutions with the adoption of XRP. Here's another quote. Garlinghouse stated that people are looking at the success Ripple has been having as a company, and I think that's increased the value of XRP. Okay, so, and here's the way I look at it, as far as what makes people willing to invest in a cryptocurrency. Well, you can argue store of value for Bitcoin, and maybe it will be the case that purely because it's the first, and standards do matter in life to varying degrees, maybe it's the case that Bitcoin will have staying power, assuming that its technological shortcomings and outrageous fees that'll come in the next parabolic run don't completely cripple it and turn people off to it. Let's assume that doesn't. Maybe it'll have perpetual staying power purely because it's the first year, right? But other than that, for the rest of the cryptocurrencies out there, and by the way, actually I should say before moving on, that might not be the case. It could be the case that since Bitcoin isn't driving additional value, that people are like, well, how is this going to store my value if it doesn't drive value, right? And that could be the case too. That's why I'm skeptical of the long-term viability, but it could stay. I admit that. I'm just saying I don't know. But as far as Ripple, the long-term success of long-term viability of XRP, I mean, frankly, it's just it will come down to utility most certainly here, but for any cryptocurrency, I think it's really going to be about the blend of developers that are building on top of any particular blockchain. So it's certainly true that Ripple's contributing. That should be obvious. But Ripple doesn't have any special controls over the XRP ledger. And so all the developers building on top of the ledger are having influence. And I'll speak for myself here. The fact that there are multiple developers, even if Ripple's the most notable, fine, I'm willing to admit that. It's reality. They're the most well-known and the biggest, most important, super duper. But the additional developers building on top of the XRP ledger, including Coil, for example, that's just one, that does instill additional confidence in me. Because if other businesses are utilizing XRP, that makes me think, well, businesses need this to exist, and I'm parking my money in it, might it at least retain its value over the long haul, or perhaps be worth substantially more? And so that's the type of thought process I'm going through, and I think many others are as well. So it's not about one entity. It's not like a stock where it's just one company and there's the stock of that company. It's more like, here's a digital asset. Let's look at the whole ecosystem. Who's building on top of it? And in that sense, it is different than investing in stock. Clearly, XRP is not a security. Now, Garlinghouse further stated that Ripple wanted to, quote, keep focusing on making XRP a valuable payments tool, and that value will increase accordingly, and that he was voting with his pocketbook on the future increased value of cryptocurrencies. And so the court also dismissed the claim, citing lack of merit. Awesome. That sounds super duper to me. However, the court gives the plaintiff the green light to proceed with the cause of action involving the violation of the California Corporations Code 25401 against Garlinghouse. In a December 2017 interview, Ripple's head said he personally invested in XRP, and here's a quote. This is from Ripple CEO Brett Garlinghouse. I'm long XRP. I'm very, very long XRP as a percentage of my personal balance sheet. I am not long on some of the other digital assets because it is not clear to me what's the real utility, what problem are they really solving. If you're solving a real problem, if it's a scaled problem, then I think you have a huge opportunity to continue to grow. We have been really fortunate, obviously. I remain very, very, very long XRP. There is an expression in the industry, hodl. Instead of hold, it's hodl. I'm on the hodl side. Okay, and even to me, like, fine, if you're not going to dismiss it, but that's perfectly, like, that is truth. It doesn't speak to anything about Ripple having any sort of special powers. I take it, if you just take this at face value, there is nothing wrong with this. That whole thing that I just read you from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, fundamentally nothing wrong with this. He's talking about utility mattering. Well, is that not safe to, like, tell me what part of this should not be safe to say? Solving a real world problem if it's scaled, is that not safe? You can't say that. Then he said, I think you have a huge opportunity to continue to grow that. So he's talking about long-term viability if you solve real problems and scale that. You can't say that. We have been really fortunate, obviously. I remain very, very, very long XRP. There is an expression, hodl. So he's not allowed to state that he's optimistic for the long-term viability of XRP based on utility. See, to me, it's still just, it's bogus. So fine, they didn't want to scrap that one for whatever reason, whatever. But how could you fault Garlinghouse for that? It seems purely silly to me. But anyway, Judge Hamilton said the plaintiff may move forward with the cause of action solely based on Garlinghouse's alleged misrepresentation regarding the scope and character of his XRP holdings. The court has noted that the plaintiff may pursue the other causes of action against Ripple Labs. So, okay, so it's, and again, it's not some, ruling against Garlinghouse, to be clear. It's just like, okay, we can talk about this in court. Things could be worse, I guess. All right, now let's get into the serious news, the real serious news from Decrypt.co. This is how many Big Macs a single Bitcoin will buy you. Oh, tell me. And then we'll get into how many Big Macs XRP can buy you. The Economist left an indelible mark on finance in 1986 when it published a tongue-in-cheek financial measure, the Big Mac Index. Now that metric has come to Bitcoin. The metric, claimed to The Economist, serves as a helpful benchmark for the worth of currencies around the world, also known as the purchasing power parity of a currency, or PPP. That's because each McDonald's burger is identical, so no matter which country you visit, but the price changes. With $5, you might be able to buy one Big Mac in the U.S. or two in Mexico, since each McDonald's burger is the same all around the world. $1, therefore, appears to go farther in Mexico. Or hey, if it's on sale, maybe get two for $5. Who knows? Hitting the jackpot. In 2005, tokenized debt securities platform Bitbond created software that does the same thing for Bitcoin called the Bitcoin Purchasing Power Index, and it tells you how many Big Mac burgers one Bitcoin will buy you. And so let's just cut to the chase. At the time of writing here, you can buy 4,456 Big Macs. So that's a lot of Big Macs, which would be 2.5 million calories. And now the question is, though, this is more important. How many Big Macs can you purchase with XRP? Well, at the current market price of about 24 cents, you could buy almost 1/20th of a Big Mac. So for the health-conscious individuals out there, that might make a lot of sense. Just 1/20th of a Big Mac. I didn't calculate the calories, but there you go. But well, obviously, there's the market is obviously pricing Bitcoin and XRP, based on like one of the metrics that's clearly taken into account, even if not the rest of the fundamentals, the quantity available, and that does matter. But still, I insist there's not some sort of outrageous supply with XRP, and if you consider the number of satoshis, the smallest piece of a single Bitcoin versus drops, the smallest piece of a single XRP, it's not that big. There's only 47 times as many drops as there are satoshis, so it's not that different. Now they're different. There's about 4,700 more XRP than Bitcoin, but if you look in terms of drops, like the individual units, it's not that many more. And so we're really just talking about where the decimal place is. So, I don't know, people don't factor that in sufficiently when they talk about how the supply is just outrageous for XRP, and it's like, no. And then on top of that, if it's globally adopted for real, yeah, not that much. It's already not that much. But how about that? So there you go. If you got one Bitcoin, you can buy about 4,500 Big Macs. Have fun, you tubalard. That's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!